What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. West Ham United 2, Manchester United 0. This is the full-time view where members can call in, have their say. The link has just been posted to the UV community tab on the YouTube chat page. So if indeed you do want to call in, have your say, you can do so. As people file in, of course, you would have seen my thoughts on the match view of how poor and bad Manchester United were. I mean, what more needs to be said, to be honest with you? Pathetic, embarrassing, surprising. No, not really. You know, I mentioned it during the game that you just felt it. You felt it that this was coming. I mean, started the game all right. You know, build up play from the back was pretty good. It was okay, but ultimately, when Garnacho misses a couple of chances in the first half, I said to the time to KG, but the danger's on the horizon, and that's exactly what was the case. Danger was absolutely on the horizon. I think we've seen a version of this game, however many times this season, where first half not great, but okay, and you're saying okay, build on that, and then you can go on to do something. Ends up 2-0, and it was very comfortable for West Ham too. Just absolutely rubbish, absolutely pathetic. As I mentioned, guys, members, if you are a member, you can call in, you can have your say. You can go to the community tab on the YouTube page. The link is there, exclusive for members only. If you do wish to become a member, you can do so by clicking the link in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat, or you can just click the join button. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members only content. Let's get straight to the calls today. As I mentioned, I've had my say during the match view. Let's start off going to Show. It's not really surprising anymore, is it? What did you make of all that?
Listen, Owen, I've called him multiple times and I've given it enough time. I can't back it anymore. Ten Hag's got to go. He's got to go. I can't.
The final straw for you today.
Yeah, I can't back it. Look, it's not just today. It's all season. Owen, we're in December, yeah. Goal difference of -5. I got to go back 2.5 weeks since the last time I seen us score a goal. Same goal scored as Luton. The way he's setting the team out, I knew today he was going to put McTominay and Bruno again together, and then he's chucking in young players to be slaughtered. Out of nowhere. Look, I'm happy for Kamwala today. A big moment for him, but then chucking him in the team randomly. Varane's not in the squad anymore. The tactical, what is the tactics? Defensively, offensively, midfield build up, defensive build up, attacking. What am I watching, Owen? This is the thing that I'm trying to ask myself. What am I watching week in, week out that I can say, you know what? Given more time, I can see Ten Hag with these players. He can do this. He can do that. I can't back anything. There's no positive right now in the team. Where I can say, you know what? At least he even makes good subs. Today, Rashford comes on for Højlund 50-50 for what? I don't know. Pelistri randomly came on for Anthony. I didn't even notice that one. He then took Kamwala off at the end for that. I don't even know what that. I don't know what I'm watching, Owen. I don't, honestly.
Yeah, I think this is the crazy thing for me is today with because obviously Varane was out with an illness and stuff like that. But and this is what's maddening to me is I looked at the defense, and that actually wasn't even the worst part of our game today. It's actually the players that are meant to be sort of regular starters. Anthony, Højlund, Garnacho, Rashford when he came on, Bruno Fernandes. Like, I don't. I can't be surprised.
The thing is, people will say, "Oh, typical fan wanting the manager out." But Owen, yeah, this is the first time I've said it. I've called in multiple times and said, "Look, it's on the players." But at some point, you got to look at them. Listen, Owen, we've got crap players. I know this. We're crap. We're bad. I don't expect us to be at the top of the table. Maybe not even make top 4. The way we're playing right now, if we continue under Ten Hag, we'll finish like 10th, 11th. We will. We've lost 8 games already this season. We've got half a season left. We can't score a goal. 18 goals in 18 games.
Do you agree, though, that this is kind of sort of my wider point with it? So I'm not necessarily disputing that, Ten Hag is might go eventually, or maybe he has to go or whatever. But we still have to, if he does go, it still is not a quick fix in the sense of, if it's just him, right, that goes, and the people that are still making key decisions as club change, nothing will change. Like, it's got to the point now, we've done this cycle so many times that we have to break it. And I'm not necessarily saying that's blind faith or anything like that. I'm saying more that it's still way bigger than just the manager.
Oh, agreed. I agree completely. I'm not saying sack. Me personally, look, people can say this Ineos thing is delusion. Look, when Ineos comes in, I'm hoping they put their guys in place very quickly. And at that point, I would say once that, once if they, let's say, do get in before the end of the season, their new CEO, their new DOF, their new sporting director, at that point, when all those three things are in place, I'm saying sack Ten Hag and get in your own guy. Because for me personally, initially I was going to say give Ten Hag to the end of the season and replace him. At this point, I don't see the point of keeping him till the end of the season because I don't know like what is he doing between now and the end of the season that will change anything. Because week in, week out, we're seeing his, how he's setting out the team. It's gotten to the point now where forget winning. It's scoring a goal is the first objective nowadays. You know what I mean? It's not even forget winning. And yes, I get, again, like I said, let me reiterate, we don't have good players like a lot of our fans maybe think we do. I understand that. I've said that to you before. But we can't just absolve the manager of blame when there's things that have been going on all season. 8 losses already. We've lost half of our games, over half now in all competitions. You said over 6 hours without a goal. We don't, and even like I saw you laughing towards the end of one of our attacking sequences when the ball was bumbling around, and I was thinking, like, it reminded me of one of those games when you're watching a third round game between like a big team and like Altrincham City or something. And that's like how they would play on a bobbly pitch down the park or something like that. Like, I don't know, like there's got to be. I get following the process. I fully get it, and I do like to believe that I'm one of them patient fans, but there's got to be something that the team is currently doing which you can say, oh, yeah, I can see that, therefore I'm backing it. Right now, I'm looking at the team, the way he's setting out the team. I don't know, maybe you can tell me, Owen, then. Is there something the team is doing right now where you can say, you know what, given more players, he can do this, he can do that? I don't know, maybe you can tell me.
I mean, I can't. There's not really much to say, is there? Really, with that. I mean, like I said, I thought in the first half, playing out from the back we were all right, but again, I can't stress it enough. Like, I feel like I have seen that game so many times, which is opening 20 minutes. You go, it's not great, it's not nothing to write home about, but you go, oh, playing out from the back, okay. Garnacho has a chance, he should score, and when he misses, you say to yourself, right, they're going to score later on now. And the moment they score, we know we've lost because we're not going to score a goal. And then it's quickly another one, quickly second goal, 2-0, game over. Like, we have seen that so many times. Not even necessarily this season. We've seen that since like March of this year, realistically. And it's infuriating. It is because it's predictable.
Yeah, this is it. And the thing is, there's things that people, like I've heard a lot of fans say, you can't blame the manager for this. But when you're losing in the exact same way, week in, week out, and yet the manager decides to do the same thing the next, like we're playing Villa next year. You tell me, Owen, do you expect the manager to start any differently than he did today against Villa?
Probably not. I mean, you probably look at maybe Varane might be back, something like that.
And this is the issue. And this is the issue. Like, I understand you can lose games. You can lose games badly. But at least if the manager's reacting to it, sees his mistakes and changes it, I can respect it. Because it shows me you're acknowledging what you're seeing. But again, today, it's like, oh, McTominay straight back in. And even for Kobe's mistake, I feel sorry for him because he's just alone in the midfield. While McTominay and Bruno are 50 yards up the pitch. Why? Because of manager's instruction. And again, Højlund, people will say he was bad today. Yeah, he weren't involved. But again, what have we given Højlund all season? What have we given him? That's the manager. That's structural issue. The fact that we can't create, that we can't defend, can't build up from the back. We're not good in the middle third. There's not a part of the team where I can say, you know what, he's done that well, Ten Hag. Yeah, you know what, I can see that.
I think also as well, and again, this is where I do sympathize for him to an extent. And again, I know that it's people, when you say that, people push back and they're like, why are you blindly backing the manager? It's not even necessarily blind that. I feel like it's almost like anyone could have been put in. In these current circumstances, with this structure, with these players, put Pep Guardiola in there. Maybe we'll have, like you said, maybe we'll have a style of football. Maybe, you know what I mean? But I think ultimately, this club's just fucking rotten. That's what it is. It is.
Owen, fully agree with you. But where I would have liked to get to a position with Ten Hag is at least so we can say as fans, you know what? Ten Hag has done the absolute best job he can. Now we know for sure that we can't break that next ceiling because the owners are letting him down. We can't say that right now. We can't say Ten Hag is doing the best job he can at the moment, and he's being only let down by the owners. We can't say that.
What do you say to people then that will, because they'll say that, and I agree with you, but they'll say last season, for instance, he did pretty much do the best job he possibly could given the circumstances, right? And
Agreed.
they'll say, once he gets his players back, once he gets Martinez back, Casemiro back, once he gets, the more midfielders back as well, we better. Or do you just sort of say, well, again, if you want to look at really what's letting us down at the moment, it's the attacking players, and there aren't any missing from our attacking players at the moment.
Look, but this is the thing. Like, we can go back to the first 2 games of the season where the warning signs were there, but people blamed lack of fitness. When we started with Casemiro, Mount, and Bruno against Wolves at home, Spurs away. Wolves at home, we got outplayed from start to finish. We should have lost. Spurs away, we got outplayed. We lost. So we had our players back then when the warning signs were there, when we were playing like this with Casemiro, with Mount, with Bruno, with Varane, with Wan-Bissaka, Dallo, whoever, with Luke Shaw. We have been. The issue is structurally the way he's setting out the team, regardless of the players that he puts in, we're getting exposed week in, week out.
No, it's true. It's true. Big up, Show, for calling in. As always, appreciate the call. Appreciate the member as well, long-time contributor to the channel. Super chat from Keegan says, players have to go before any manager. Given the bench, I'm not sure what Erik Ten Hag outers are expecting. Our injury list should manage your expectations. And this is the thing involved in all of it. And this is what is going to become really, really difficult now. And it's like, when you say that and you go injuries, people get very defensive because, okay, what you're saying, so you're saying he's not made any mistakes. Erik Ten Hag has made massive errors this season. Errors that I think ultimately are probably going to cost him his job eventually, realistically. The longer it goes on and you get days like today, you sort of say, and this is kind of where I sort of stand on it at the moment, is that even if things get better, once the players get back, etc., I just feel like the option's been made very easy for Ineos at this point in time, that they're going to make sweeping changes, and I think he's just going to get swept up in that, to be honest with you. And when the players are back, will we play better? Sure, last season is evidence of that, but he's made massive errors, and certain selections are coming back to bite him immensely. McTominay lasted the whole game again today. The Antony signing is always coming back to bite him at the moment. Marcus Rashford is just, he came on and did nothing. But at the same time, I almost sympathise with him a little bit because he went straight into the Højlund role, getting no service. So, of course, he just vanished, like Rasmus Højlund vanished in the game too. And, yeah, it's just really bad. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Amanor. Amanor, what were your thoughts on all that you witnessed today?
Hi, Owen. First of all, I'm on holiday abroad, so thankfully I didn't have to watch the entire match. I only watched the first half, and then I decided to go and walk and enjoy the sunshine. But what you've described to me, Owen, is that it is something that you've seen before. For me, I'm not Erik Ten Hag in now. I'm not Erik Ten Hag out yet, but I'm I am Erik tentative. Because I agree with you, Owen. We can dissect the game, but I'm not going to bother dissecting the game because, like I said, I didn't watch the second half. But the way you described it to me, that we couldn't. I saw Garnacho miss that opening in the first half. That was poor. He couldn't get it out of his feet. But if you're a team that doesn't create many chances, when you do get the chances, you got to put them away. That's a must. For me, I think Erik Ten Hag is going to get himself sacked. I understand what Shaw's saying. He needs to leave, but leave. Then what? Are we gonna get another Ranikin to the end of the season? What does that achieve? Ineos may have somebody in mind, but that person may not be available until the end of the season. So what are you gonna do during the season? You might as well let him stay to the end of the season. Let Ineos analyze this position structurally, the staff, who they can trust, who they want to get rid of, and then make an informed decision in terms of who their next manager would be. One thing I will criticize Erik Ten Hag, you're right, Owen. He's made lots of mistakes this season. The one I pick up was the way he fell out with Varane. That's just ridiculous. I know he wasn't available today, but today, Owen, when I saw the lineup, I didn't recognize a guy who was playing centre back. Never heard of him before.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, okay, you got Johnny Evans as a centre back. Just bear with me. You got Johnny Evans as a centre back, 35-year-old. You got a young novice as another centre back, you'd think you play 2 6s and play on the counter because you've got such a you don't have an established defense. You do that, but for some reason, in Ten Hag's psychology, his stubbornness, he just thinks that Mainu can play the 6 on his own. McTominay goes missing, and we are where we are. That is on Eric Ten Hag, and for him, we've lost that match because you can't justify that. We played against Liverpool, and yes, it wasn't a performance where we would celebrate, but we got a result. You'd think he'd learn from that. You'd think, okay, I've seen the players who are available for my team today. I need to shut up shop a little bit here and then play on the counter. But why didn't that thought process go through his head? Please explain that to me, Owen.
Well, and this is like I keep saying this, that I haven't looked at the quotes that he said after the game, but I guarantee it'll be something along the lines of, first half we did all right, we should have taken our chances, then we made errors, and then they were just better than us. But and this is where I'm almost conflicted a little bit, because I do get it, like when people go, well, you can't put the ball in the back of the net for the players if they miss chances, but at the same time, you're right, like certain selection decisions you can't justify. You can't.
Okay, Owen, why not play Amrabat and? Oh, please explain to me. Please make this make sense to me. Why not play Mainu and Amrabat as the 2 holding midfielders in this game when you know your defense is a makeup of people that you never even heard of before? I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that's the reality situation.
Or even with like Ericsson, I know he's just come back from an injury, but you go 60 minutes, go, right, I'm going to take McTominay off, I'm going to put Ericsson on because that's what the game needs.
Yeah.
You brought him on in 80 minutes, game's over at that point, and you go, well, what are we supposed to do? And like, again, Rasmus Højlund, again, you feel bad for him, but it's not working out for him. It's just, it's not working out.
Yeah, and he's a young lad, and so is Garnacho. So I'm not going to have a go at Garnacho for missing that chance or Højlund not punishing teams. But for me, where's your senior players? Where's our captain? Where's our leader, Bruno Fernandes, in this game? Where's McTominay, the guy who's been scoring 5 goals, and we seem to think he's our saviour? Apparently, he goes missing. We have to point fingers at the manager and also our senior players. I have to be honest with you. And like I said, I heard what Shaw was saying, and I could sense he's fed up with Ten Hag, and I totally understand his rationale for it. But for me, I don't see anything. I don't need to say Eric Ten Hag needs to be sacked now. He's going to get himself sacked. So he's fulfilling his own prophecy. So let's just see what happens. Let's just see what Ineos come with. I do have a bit of faith in terms of what Ineos might do, because the rumours that I'm seeing, the way they're approaching kind of the subject matter, the analytical review, the forensic approach, that seems to be, I know I haven't seen anything yet, but that's reassuring. They've actually, I read that article when he did a morning view, was it 2 days ago, where we were going through Laurie Whitwell's article. I read that afterwards when you announced it, and the way they were approaching it fills me with confidence. So if there's any positive I can take, is the fact that we're going to get somebody who knows what they're trying to do and establish that culture in that club. And Eric Ten Hag doesn't need to get himself sacked. He'll get himself sacked, probably get himself sacked another month or so. But I just want to see what Ineos do next. And I'm not gonna be one of those fans who's like Troy Superstar. I don't know if Troy Superstar came on the show today and with the super chats. I don't know, Owen. Please don't. He triggers me. He triggers me. But you'll have fans like that who'll say he needs to go out. But I don't need to do that. Eric Ten Hag will get himself sacked. Let's just see what happens next.
Big up, Amanor. Appreciate you calling in as always. Super chat here from K Flow says the second goal clearly illustrates the flaw of system, yet he persists since Wolves. This was actually exposed in pre-season. Why do all these managers keep persisting with McTominay? But that's what will happen with Scott McTominay, isn't it? Is like he'll get you goals, so you keep playing them, but it doesn't offer anything else. And then eventually you get games like today where you start losing them, and you go, "Why am I playing them?" Every time. Pav, you've been. Said you wanted the manager out a couple of times. I guess today just probably reinforce your opinion on that, right?
I'll be honest. Get him out tomorrow, today. I don't care. Let's all chip in, get this guy an easy jet flight. Let's get him back to Amsterdam where he belongs. He needs to go, man. Like, this can't keep happening. I've just seen a stat on the Athletic had just tweeted. So in 2017 and 18, under Jose Mourinho, we played 56 matches, conceded 40 goals. In this season, under Eric Ten Hag, we've played 26 matches and conceded 41 already. What is that good enough? And I'm tired of hearing people. Yeah, no offense to any of the people that come on. People saying like Aminal just said, I'm not Eric Ten Hag out, and I'm not in, bruv. Just say what you want to say. That's on your head. Stop living like people sitting on the fence. If he's gonna get himself out, half of you man are just sitting in denial. Just say it. Like Ten Hag's not gonna come to your bedroom while you're sleeping and snuffle you
Well,
with a pillow if
I
you're
don't
Ten
think
Hag
it's
out.
like, I don't think it's like that though, because again, that kind of sums up where I'm at. To be honest with you, is that I'm not going to call for the manager to be sacked, because at the same time,
No, of course it's the players as well.
I think,
It's the
yeah, I think
players
that's
as
what I mean.
well.
I think it does. It almost
But the
does
problem
the
is,
situation a
oh,
disservice.
we know Owen, yeah, that what happens in like football level, the manager's always going to get sacked before the players because it's easier to do that than it is to sell the players. And especially with some of the scrubs that we got in our squad who don't deserve to be here on high wages, it's going to take a while for them to go. And I've said this multiple times on here, and I've said it multiple times on KG channel. 90% of this squad needs to go. Mainu got absolutely destroyed today, right? Who was there to help him? Why wasn't Amrabat playing with Mainu? Now that's gonna make his confidence go down so much, and that's on Ten Hag, and that's on the manager because you did that. He should never be like the way the fans are going as well. I said, do not put pressure on this kid. People are already out here calling him Starboy. Let him be. Let him learn. He needs to be around leaders. He needs to be around experienced players. Like that was a disgrace today. That like I already knew that we weren't going to score. My best hope was another 0-0 draw because I've told you for weeks we do not have any creative players in this team. Even Garnacho is annoying me now, right?
Yeah, but
Because you're a
wasteful,
youngster,
wasteful.
and I feel like in his head he think he's made it because he's playing on the wing. He's playing over Rashford, who's also rubbish as well. You need to be put down a peg as well. Like stop acting like you've made it. I've seen things that you're doing. You're not that guy yet, mate. And it's not like me criticizing Garnacho to like the standard that I'm holding Rashford to. It's just that I'm seeing certain things with this kid, and I don't like that when that happens. Like I
But
saw like things about Mainey where he's parking away from the first team and that. Like you need to be humble, like
I
Mainey's doing
think
at the moment.
you mentioned earlier on though, with saying with Ten Hag going, we're pitching, he needs to go tomorrow, all this kind of stuff. But if we're saying that 90% of these players aren't good enough, if getting rid of Eric Ten Hag tomorrow, like realistically, what difference is that going to make? And
Something
what
has to
difference is that
change.
going
Something
to
has to
make?
change because if these players aren't playing for him, right? Then like, I'll be honest. In my opinion, he should go tonight or tomorrow. I don't care. But I still think until Ratcliffe doesn't come in, there's nothing going to change. The guy's going to be there. And whether when Ratcliffe comes in and they decide to put an interim, I don't care, like whoever it is, whatever. And then in the summer they're getting a new manager. But like this guy needs to go as soon as. And I don't know what's holding up the deal anyway. Like just hurry up and get in. The January transfer window, people don't even expect anything. Like I'm hearing about like deadbeat players like El Naziri from Sevilla coming on loan. So don't even expect anything because nothing's going to change for us for the rest of the season. It's going to be like that, right? I don't know what's going on with these coaches with Ten Hag. What are they doing in training? Because we're not, bro. We can't even score.
But then this is the thing. So this is the thing. So you're saying like we're not going to do anything in January, and I agree we're not. And again, that's because of the financial position that we're in. Even if the Ineos thing got announced tomorrow, which it won't now, it won't be until the new year. That this is going to be our season, isn't it? But again, isn't that when you take a step back and look at the wider picture, and you're saying, and I agree with you. Like I said a couple of times now, I think Eric Ten Hag is going to get swept up in the changes when Ineos comes in. I think ultimately he'll be a casualty to that, but nothing's going to happen. And when you do take a sort of a step back, you go, this club's been run into the ground. Like it has completely been
Of
run into
course it
the
has.
ground, been
And
run
I've
into
said
the
this many
ground.
times. As fans, we could have done a lot more. Like I myself haven't spent a penny on this club in what, maybe 4 to 5 years. I haven't bought a shirt since Fergie retired. Um, but I was still going to some games, so I fed the Glazers money for a period of time. But as fans, we could have done a lot more. I'm not going to go into it because I already said many times what we should have done as a fan base. But other people are going to do what they want, and I'm not going to tell people what to do. But I gave my opinion on that. But yeah, like the only thing we can hope for now is when this new set of people come in, that something changes. But even in the summer, I wouldn't expect decent signings either, because financially we're screwed, and that's like every window. Like that whole Athletic article I was listening to you and Flex, was it yesterday or the day before? What we've done, like some of the players we could have had, and then you got idiots like Murta disrespecting Fergie when somebody wants to talk to Bellingham. Yeah, we're a mess. But the other thing, like, bro, do you know what? I didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it, innit? We bought in a striker, yeah, for £72 million. The man's been turned into a meme by some Aussie kid who looks like he's been hit with a frying pan half a dozen times. And that's our season. We're a meme. We're a joke.
Yeah. Like I said,
Like,
I said earlier on, we're in the banter era. We're in the banter era. That's what we are. But again, and that's when it gets into. That's when it gets into
we're gonna be depressed for the rest of the season, bro.
That's when we get into, like, you know, again, and this is not, and this is when I think people sometimes have a bit of selective hearing. That's not to say like the manager, he's done nothing wrong. Of course, he's done a lot wrong.
He's done
and he's
a
had
lot
a huge,
wrong.
and he's a huge part to play. But it's sort of, for me, it's bigger than that. And I think sometimes, and I get it when people go, oh, he's not the one. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I get that.
The main issue
but
is, yeah, look, we're fans, right? First, you're obviously doing what you do with social media channels, stuff like that. I'm a fan, right? I don't want to be like some YouTuber thing. I want to see my team win. I go to work for the week. I want to see my team win on the weekend. This is not what I pay my football subscriptions for. This is not why I don't want to sit here taking a beating week after week and not seeing any improvements. We've seen no improvement from last season. We've seen no style of play. The signings have been rubbish, most of them, right? We've overspent, right? And I've heard every excuse for what, 4 months now? Injuries, players will come back, we'll be playing better. This player comes in, we'll be better. It doesn't matter who plays, nothing's going to change. And it's gone.
No.
It's
But
beyond
in the same way, does it not matter who's?
There's no more excuses.
In the same way that you say it doesn't matter who plays, it's not going to get better. But is it also in the case of it doesn't matter who's the manager, because it's not going to get better? Because it hasn't.
Yeah, of course. I don't. I like I said, even if an interim comes, it's not going to change a lot until next season.
Yeah, it'll be
But
like Ralph again.
I'm at a point where I don't want to see Eric Ten Hag's face anymore on TV. That's where I am. That's why I just want him gone today or tomorrow. I'm sick and tired of seeing his face. I'm sick and tired of reading another record broken on Twitter. Every time I go on Twitter, it's just like you're going to disappointment about Man United. There's nothing positive. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't care who comes in for the rest of the season. Darren Fletcher, they put McLaren in charge. I don't care. I don't want to see Eric Ten Hag's face anymore. That's the point I'm at.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I appreciate Pav calling in as always. And look, this is the thing, and I'll always stress this, because I think sometimes when you offer up the other side of it, some people think, are you backing the manager, or blindly backing the manager? No, I just think it's important to sort of ask those questions, because I think, for instance, I enjoyed that call with Pav there, because initially it's like, get rid of the manager. I want the manager to go, and he's still like that. But at the same time, there is a firm acknowledgement of, but still, whoever comes in, it's not going to be fixed. And that's why I say, I don't think we can put the horse before the cart on this one again. Is Eric Ten Hag the guy? Is he the one? Is he the one that's going to take Man United to the stratosphere and back to the top? At the moment, don't look like it. Can't argue with that. Cannot argue with that. But at the same time, nobody will until the bigger fundamental issues are fixed at Manchester United. We could get a manager in tomorrow and we might have a little bit of a bounce. We might play some better football a little bit, and we're like, see, it's fixed. It wasn't that bad. But actually, the same issues will persist unless there is, wider, larger, bigger reform at United. And it's like, it's not to accept this either at all, but it's more like, when we're dealing with the sins of the past now, and it's almost like we've got to go through all of this, get everyone out, wait. And again, with the Ineos stuff, why does it not happen quickly? I'd rather it take time and it get done right, involved in all of it as well. And I just think that, like I said, sweeping change is just needed everywhere. A couple of super chats and we'll get to more calls. Gurav says, have you not seen Old Trafford food hygiene? It's a one. The whole club is a shambles. Yeah, exactly. That is because they were serving raw chicken. It's fucking nuts. And that was diarrhea football today as well. K Flows says, tactically, it's all wrong. We don't play a high line. We can't retain possession. Huge gap in the middle. It's like a horrible five-a-side. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Truth Engraved. Truth, what is your truth after watching all of that today?
Oh, mate, can you hear me clearly enough?
I can hear you good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I'm close to being broken. I'm very close, but at the same time, it's still the same. It's still the same reasoning regarding the club and the bigger problems, bigger than the manager. There's still too many problems in place in the system in our club that calling for the manager. We should have learned by now, as United fans. We should have learned by now that you can't call on the manager's head. Not anymore. It's not enough. It's not going to change anything. Yes, 100%. He's making mistake after mistake after mistake. He's also, though, got a bench of players, some of which have already agreed moves away from the club. Some of which they don't really want to play. They've got moves planned, had enough, or whatever the case is. You've got players with discipline issues, which only a couple of weeks ago, or actually a couple of months ago, should we say, stemming from even the Ronaldo situation, most fans agreed with. Most fans agreed with the way that these things are handled because our club needs, firm hands. Now, only because Ineos are supposedly coming in, I still don't believe it until I see it, to be honest. But only because they're coming in would I say I'm not going to say anything about the manager right now. I feel like when they come in, if they come in and they come with all their changes, they will decide what kind of football they want to play, what kind of culture we want to have at the club, and it seems like they are. It seems like they are going to do that, and then we'll see about the manager. I just feel like until they can talk to the manager and say, "Listen, this is your audition," and then I want to see him strip the squad back. I want to see him start playing with.
I mean, do you think when it comes to Ten Hag, though, and again, this is kind of where I'm sitting on it at the moment, that given the way things are going, when Ineos come in, most likely they're probably going to, make that sort of change. But is it important to remember, sort of the bigger picture and remember, everything's wrong. It's not just the manager. Well, I tell you what, my questions are good. Truth Engraved. Look, Truth Engraved came in and he spoke his truth, and that was it. And then we said, "That's all I've got to say. That's all I've got to say. That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. I'm out. That's cool." Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. There you go. David T says Hoyland got his first and last service in the 21st minute. They're saying it's a service issue as well. Let's go to another call. Let's try Charles. Charles, I mean, I can guess probably where you sit on things. But what are your thoughts after everything today?
Well, I'm just here to collect apologies, really, because I'm hearing people talk and they're saying things that I said earlier, that people called me a fake United fan. He's a City fan. He's this, he's that. You're short-sighted. Well, how's it looking now, though?
Does that make you feel better, though, Charles?
Oh, obviously. Well, yes and no. I feel like those United fans that know next to nothing about football and thinks Alex Ferguson is as common as fucking grass outside, they need to get their heads checked. How can we see the same mistake 10 times and somebody's telling me, "Oh, don't worry, Mino is coming back, Luke Shaw is coming back. We're looking for defenders and central midfielders to score goals." We're sitting here as if we don't know what actual quality looks like. Not to do the Oli revisionism, but Oli was better than this. Oli did not break us the way this guy has broken us. Like, look at KG for example, yeah? He's not even like, there's no recklessness, there's no vibes, there's nothing. He's just dead. Like, it's like now this YouTube thing is looking like headache, bro. Even you've aged like Graham Potter at Chelsea, fam.
Everybody, I got a haircut, Charles, the other day. Look at this. I'm getting strays.
Don't worry, like you're still aging because of this manager, bro. I'm not saying you look bad. You maybe have a little silver wolf thing going on, you know what I'm saying? But still, this manager, he is killing everybody. Today, I literally woke up in the middle of the match. Guess the first thing I saw?
What was that?
1-0. I
Oh,
woke
right.
up and the first thing I saw, 1-0. Cleaned my eyes, sat up. Next thing I saw, 2-0. That's the life of a Manchester United fan. You can't even wake up and have peace on a weekend. This guy just spoils everything, and Christmas is 2 days away, bro. You already know. Like
what people say though with Ollie, we with that, right? And you said you didn't want to do the Ollie revisionism, but did Ollie win a trophy?
Nah, Ollie didn't win a trophy. He didn't. But he did better than this. He did a lot better than this, bro. You just said it.
Can you say he did better if he didn't win a trophy?
Yes, I can. Like footballing wise, Ollie did better. Right now, what I'm
Isn't
seeing,
football
like,
the nuts and bolts of football about winning things?
well, it's about winning things consistently, not just about winning things.
and Ollie didn't win anything consistently, Charles.
Well,
The argument there is very weak.
The argument may be weak, but like I said, this brother, he didn't do anything that Ollie didn't do. Ollie got to find
you
and
can
had
say
his
Jose,
players.
you can say Jose, or you can say Van Gaal because they won trophies. Fair enough, but Ollie,
I'm not putting Eric Ten Hag in Jose or Van Gaal's bracket. He's not good enough. He's never been good enough, and he never will be. The truth of the matter is, us United fans, we are also our own problem. When Eric Ten Hag was coming in, he had nothing to his name that would warrant him having the control of a club like Manchester United. We all sat here and believed he was the second coming. He's going to change this. He's going to change that. He's going to change those. This brother has done absolutely nothing. We all said he was a good coach. Owen, can you tell me that you can see what this guy has coached into the team?
By the way, Charles, if you said you woke up and the first thing you saw was 1-0, that implies that you missed at least 72 minutes of the game.
Exactly. On purpose too. Like I did it on purpose, fam. I'm not even acting like as if it was anything. Like I was expecting to wake up and the match was over, bruv. I woke up and I held 2.
So you missed like over 60% of the game.
And what I saw is still driving me crazy. That's how mad it is. I only saw about 18 minutes, bro, and I'm losing my mind.
Oh, Charles, man. Jesus Christ. Oh. I thought it took a while for it to kind of like sink in that one a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. That's 60% of the game. And I'm not saying he missed that much, in fairness, but yeah. God. I think we got a super chat here. Members chat from Truth Engraved. Big up Truth, who just had some connection problems. Says, sorry guys, next time I'll give my complete views. Poor reception where I was. Big up to you and appreciate you being a member for 18 months as well. How many likes are we currently at the moment? We're currently at 122 likes. I know there's not much to like at the moment, but it is Christmas. Maybe you can give the gift of a like to United View, and whilst you're at it, be sure to subscribe as well. Bottom right hand corner, you know what to do. What some of the people in the chat saying as well? Tamasol says smash the like button. Yes. What else are people saying here? Superfly says Charles' favorite food is waffles because that's what he does. Charles getting cooked in the comments at the moment. This is tough. Asif says if Charles it's Charles' fault if he stayed asleep, we would have won. Honestly, they're coming for you, Charles. They're coming. John says, Owen, we are horrible. I don't disagree. We're horrible, but I said that after the Liverpool game. I mean, I know I'm probably beating a bit of a dead horse here, but like, this is why I kind of push back to all the Liverpool fans that were like, oh, you know, how embarrassing, Man United. Embarrassing for you. We're shit. You couldn't beat us at home. Like, that's what should have happened at Anfield last week. That's what's happened in all of these games. That we're not good. And don't get me wrong, like I said a million times here about the manager and Eric Ten Hag. Is he the one to take Man United to the top? It doesn't look like it, does it? Let's be honest with you. But at the same time, it's almost like I don't see the bigger problems getting fixed, or any manager coming in fixing things at United until these bigger issues are resolved. And I think now this season, I don't think Ten Hag, he's not going to go today. He's not going to go tomorrow. He's not going to go after Boxing Day or anything like that. I still think he probably sees out the season, to be honest with you. I think he might be a bit of a lame duck manager, as I've said a million times, in that we know his future. We know the way things are going with him. There'll be links to other managers and all that kind of stuff once Ineos are in. And maybe they'll go from that. Because as bad as it is at the moment, under an interim, I think it would honestly get worse. I really do. Because the United players... There are still probably a couple of players in there that are playing for the manager. If all of them just completely give up, and it gets to the territory like we were under Ralph again, my goodness me, yeah, that's terrifying. Kafi Gonlecci says, Ten Hag proved at Ajax he can work under a structure. If that's what Ineos is bringing, why would we get rid of him? I think the thing is that it might be a case of Kafi Gonlecci that it was a structure built around him. And it might just be the people that make up that new structure have different ideas or have a different person that they feel like they're aligned with or their philosophies aligned with. That's not too much of a surprise, to be honest with you. And Ineos might be looking at it as, we're changing everything. Let's have this perception of a fresh start as well. Let's everyone goes and we start from scratch. And that might be, well, certainly is what United need, honestly. And that might be part of it. So there you go, guys. Chris says, Owen, you're still on this Ratcliffe coming in nonsense. Stop being a sheep. Ratcliffe will never get ratified. There are some people that are insistent that Ratcliffe isn't going to happen. He's not going to get ratified, all that kind of stuff. And the big key aspect of why it won't get ratified is because of the multi-club ownership thing. Which if they block that, if they block the acquisition or a minority acquisition of United based on multi-club ownership or anything like that, then other owners of other clubs are in big trouble. Because for instance, you've got City, they got Girona's top of the league in La Liga. Like what's going to happen then? You know. And Chris says, with what money? We're referring to Jim Ratcliffe. In fairness to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he is Britain's wealthiest man. He's got like a net worth of like 20 billion quid. So he doesn't have the money that Sheikh Jassim does or the Qataris do. But I think to imply, that's what I didn't understand with all that, is they sort of, that he doesn't have money. That's very strange. Nevertheless, guys, anyway, there's a short, sharp, sweet full-time view for you today. Click the like button, be sure to subscribe. There's going to be more fan views coming up very shortly from Flex, who was at the stadium today, from KG, and from others remotely. Tomorrow we'll have Match Day Reloaded, a Christmas Eve special Match Day Reloaded as well, so be sure to join us then. And I guess on to the next one. We'll see you. Next match will be Boxing Day, or next full-time view will be Boxing Day. So I appreciate everyone that's tuned in this year thus far. If I don't speak to some of you before then, have a good Christmas. Try not to let United get you down too much, certainly. And I'll speak to you again very soon. I'm out of here. Peace.